made us smile. You hit the front, now it's all worthwhile. 'Cause there's one day in September we want to remember. There isn't any doubting we'll be in there shouting. Football's such a part of this whole town, and we know that you won't let us down. Well, there's nothing better than a nice good win, and there's no second prize if you let them in. You've gotta give your best and then give again. Out there's no such thing as friends. Well, we've been our best and we've been our worst. If we do it right, well, we'll come home first. We gotta get in there and make them sag. We'll hit them hard, take the flag. Such a part of this whole town, such a part of this whole town, and we know that you won't let us down. 'Cause there's one day in September in there and fight. 'Cause there's one day in September, show 'em your might. 'Cause there's one day in September, don't let 'em in. Football's such a part of this whole town, such a part of this whole town, we know that you won't let us down. In September, in there and fight, 'cause we made it to the final. Show 'em your might, 'cause there's one day in September, don't let 'em in. Footy's such a part of this whole town, such a part of this whole town, and we know that you won't let us
There it was, a new version of One Day in September, and tonight celebrating Carlton's win in the 1981 Premiership, our grand final roundup. Welcome to the program, and we've certainly got some interesting interviews, I know, lined up for you in the next hour, and still plenty being made as Sandy Roberts and Stephen Phillips are making their way around the respective suburbs of Carlton and Collingwood, and I believe finding some very, very interesting guests to talk to. Let's first of all go out to the Blush and Stutter, which is the hotel in Carlton, owned by Perce Jones and Adrian Gallagher, two of football's greatest personalities, and needless to say, there is a wealth of celebrating there going on this evening after Carlton's 20-point win at the MCG this afternoon. Let's go over now to Sandy Roberts at the Blush and Stutter Hotel.
One of the more popular establishments in Nicholson Street is the Blush and Stutter Hotel, run by former Carlton coach and now hotelier, Mr. Percy Jones. It's a very popular Carlton watering hole, so let's go in now. We'll have a look and just see what they've got to say in the Blush and Stutter tonight. Quite a bit of cheer at the moment. One gets the impression that this is well and truly a Carlton watering hole tonight. Perhaps if we could just a couple of questions. Midway through the third term, when Carlton were down by 21 points, at that stage we were all worried. Perhaps the nails tell the story. This is a worried man. Well, he's not now. How does this compare to some of Carlton's past victories?
All the way. When you beat Collingwood, it's bloody great. What did we Collingwood by 5 points?
And tell me, we're all going to have a very disciplined evening tonight, are we? What about a toast to Carlton? Fine, a toast to Carlton, gentlemen. Now,
there's no better win than Collingwood. You couldn't win a better team. Fantastic.
We're the team that never lets you down. We're the
from the Blush and Stutter, I think we can say one thing: very, very happy tonight. But in the morning when they wake up, boy.
I think you're right there, Sandy. I don't know about the fact that they can sing, but they can certainly celebrate, and I dare say there'll be quite a few celebrations going on until the early hours of the morning. Incidentally, for Carlton supporters watching, I believe the Carlton team will be back at Princes Park round about 11:30 tonight. So if you are in the area and maybe are delaying your celebration, then you can celebrate with the team at Princes Park. I believe the team will be back at the Oval round about 11:30. So if you're intending joining them, you certainly have plenty of time. Delamarters is a hotel in Collingwood territory tonight, and I think things might be a little bit different there. Anyway, let's go over to Stephen Phillips and let's see what's happening at Delamarters. Delamarters Hotel, as I said, in the thick of Collingwood territory, but probably more like...
Right here in Delamarters, Yarra Hotel in Johnson Street, about 3 Rene kick torpedo punts from Victoria Park, and I thought it would be quite sombre, but a few of the girls sitting here having a talk about the game. Disappointing?
Oh, I'm used to it now. It is disappointing, but I'm used to it. I've been to that many and seen them getting beat just the same. But I really thought they'd win it today.
What do you talk about after the game? Sit here and have a beer out of a magpie glass? And...
That's right, how we lost and where we should have won it and what they didn't do and everything in general.
You went to the game?
Yes, my word. I go every time.
You got past shedding a tear for them?
Oh, past that now.
Well, everyone here seems to be enjoying themselves.
My word we are. We'll still stick with them again.
You watched the game at home on TV today. Did it get you down a bit?
After Carlton kicked the first goal in the final quarter, I opened my book.
What about you? You're getting a bit sick and tired of losing?
Yes, I am.
What do you suggest now? If you were Tommy Hafey, what would you do?
What would I do? Kick the footballers up the bum.
Disappointed about the game today, John?
Yes, I am, Stephen, really. But they did try very hard, but I think they ran out of legs. But it was a true fighting effort, and if I can say, well done, Carlton.
It broke me heart. I thought we had it won again, but maybe next year.
Did you go to the game today?
No, I watched it at home.
And were you disappointed?
Very disappointed.
Were you?
Yeah.
What do you reckon they should do next year to get that flag?
Players.
You don't think they bought a lot of new players this year?
They're buying too many small players. They need big players. I knew you.
And were you upset?
Yes.
What do you think they should do next year?
Win.
They're certainly making up for a big loss at the MCG. They're still celebrating, and I'm fairly sure the celebrations will go right on, and probably it'll just after Christmas.
Well, they can't even sing as well as our Carlton friends at the Blush and Stutter, but didn't that lady at the start sound like Dawn Lake? You tell 'em, love, I think was her famous line. You're watching Grand Final Roundup on 7, and we'll be going up to the sporting editor of the Sunday Press, Scott Palmer, for all the latest information on today's footy, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you, Peter. Royce Hart said a few years ago, absolute total dejection can never be better summed up than being part of a losing grand final side. And Peter Moore, you've been part of a few losing grand final sides over the years. For you being captain this year must be utter disappointment.
Yeah, it's not the most happy occasion of my career. It's 5 grand finals that I've played in now, and we haven't won us yet, but we have to accept it and congratulate Carlton on their effort. They were the better side on the day, and unfortunately we couldn't match them, and they deserved their win, but we have to just accept it and look to next year now.
Peter, there were times just before three-quarter time when you were 21 points up into time on that things did look very rosy indeed for the Magpies.
We looked good in stages, but, you know, the Carlton were just overpowered us in that last couple of minutes of the third quarter. Kicked a couple of vital goals right at the end, not through us, I don't think, relaxing. It was just the pressure was still there, but they were able to handle that pressure and come out and kick a couple of goals. And I thought perhaps Wayne Harms's goal at the end of that third quarter was what kept them in it, and they just you know, had too much overall strength for us.
One question I must ask you: you started and played a lot of the game in the forward line Did you feel you were totally over the injury? Was your confidence high?
Well, I think if you take the field, you have to accept that you're fit, and any consequences is just bad luck, and I took the field and I look for no excuses.
Peter, 4 losing grand finals in 5 years. Surely it's time for the club to have a rethink about various situations. I suppose Tom Hafey will be looking through the list of players before summer training starts.
Well, I suppose he will. You know, it's obvious that we have to reassess. We recruited well this year, but obviously not quite well enough. We'll continue the recruiting drive at the administration level and try and build up the strength of the team. I think it was proven today that big hearts, while they're willing, aren't quite enough in big games like that, and we'll need to have a look at it.
Pete, you said in an address just a few minutes ago to the players and officials here that they should hold their heads high.
Well, I don't believe in looking at what's happened and holding your head low. I think that we should hold our heads high. We made the grand final. 10 other clubs couldn't do that. We battled hard. We showed that we had heart. We showed that we didn't have any collywobbles. But that's a lot of nonsense. And I'm proud of my players. I think that they gave everything they had, but it just wasn't good enough, and we have to accept that, congratulate Carlton, and have another look at it.
Thank you very much, Peter Moore, Collingwood captain. And it's not really a wake out here, Peter. It's a group of guys enjoying a good season and starting to talk about success in 82. We'll be back with more interviews a little later in the evening.
Thanks, Steve, and thanks very much to Collingwood captain Peter Moore for talking to us. And Peter made a very good point, didn't he, that 10 other clubs didn't make the grand final, so you do have to congratulate Collingwood for making the grand final in 1981, something that 10 other VFL clubs failed to do. A magnificent effort, and congratulations to Tom Hafey, the committee out at Victoria Park, for getting the Magpies into yet another grand final. In fact, since 1958, when they won their last grand final, Collingwood have made the finals on 18 occasions, and that indeed in itself is a record to be proud of. Even though Carlton have the wood on the Magpies in their grand final meetings, I think the score now stands at 5-1 in favour of the Blues, and the only success that Collingwood had over Carlton in a grand final goes back to something round about like 1910. So maybe it will be Collingwood's year next year, who knows. Things are a little bit different over at the Carlton Social Club, predictably, and Sandy Roberts has made his way from Nicholson Street around to the Carlton Social Club, so let's go over there right now and see what's happening.
Well, before the players of Carlton head up to the Hilton, there are thousands of people out here at Carlton headquarters at the moment, and as the players are being introduced to this vast crowd, I've managed to snatch David McKay. David, firstly, congratulations on a marvellous effort.
Thanks very much, Sandy.
Midway through that third term, when Collingwood shot away to a 21-point break, was there a ripple of fear going through the side?
Oh, I think, yeah, we were certainly worried at that stage, but towards the end of the third quarter, our tackling and our general endeavour improved, even though it wasn't on the scoreboard. We sort of went into the last term perhaps in good spirits.
It was a ferocious game. Collingwood threw absolutely everything at you. How beneficial was that 1 week's rest last week?
Well, I think it definitely was a great benefit to us. I think, when you analyse the last quarter, I think you'll find that Collingwood were really tired, and they've done extremely well to get as far as they have. A bit like last year, and I think we've really benefited by having 2 weeks off.
David, your own position, another premiership under the belt. Is the enthusiasm as great as ever?
Yeah, well, I think this is probably one of the best that I've been involved with. It's a bit hard to know when you. The current one always seems better, I suppose, than any of the others. But this year, the Carlton team has probably been more of a team than any other that I've ever played with. The players are, it's really a team effort. Whereas, in past premierships that I've played in, there's been more individuals involved. And but this year, it's certainly more of a team.
Yes, it was a magnificent team effort. Enjoy the celebrations, and once again, congratulations.
Thanks very much, Sandy.
Sandy Roberts, amid plenty of distractions, talking to David McKay at the Carlton Social Club this evening, and we'll be going back to the Carlton Social Club in just a few moments' time. You're watching Grand Final Roundup 1981, and we'll be back with more of the program in just a moment. Welcome back. You're watching Grand Final Roundup 1981 from 7, and there is, of course, plenty happening around town this evening. And Sandy Roberts and Stephen Phillips, we hope are bringing to you at home some of the atmosphere of the various celebrations and whatever that's going on tonight for this one day in September. We're going back now to the Dallas Brooks Hall. Stephen Phillips is there at the moment. Steve, who have you got this time?
Well, Peter, a lot of the people who are here having dinner tonight and celebrating Collingwood's appearance in the Grand Final have been at the club for a long time, been thin, and a lot of thin in recent years. Ronnie Richards, the assistant coach, has been here since ⁻47. And Ronnie, I suppose the question that everyone at home would like to know is, you know, what must Collingwood do to win?
Well, I think, Stephen, the thing what we'll be probably doing next Tuesday night, I think it is, when we've got a meeting arranged, we'll be taking stock again. Last year we took stock, and we thought we replenished our side with players that come in, calibre of Williams, Taylor, Irwin, Allen, and, well, that hasn't been sufficient. Simple as that. So we've got to just knuckle down and replenish more players.
Peter Moore made a speech before in which he thanked a lot of the players who weren't out on the ground today, the Hannabrys and the Edwards and the Smiths, youngsters who've, through injury, have missed much of the season, but have worked very hard for next year already.
Yeah, that was true what Peter remarked about, but I think he was just condoling in a way the players that were trying to get into the side and had worked so hard at training.
Ron, the boys fought magnificently to win against Fitzroy and Geelong. Did you feel that when they were 21 points up with just a few minutes to play in the third quarter that they could finally pull it off?
No, I did not feel that. I felt that we still had another quarter to go. Even at that stage, and they got 2 goals, Carlton. I still felt that we could still win it even in the last quarter.